Hello and welcome aboard. I'm Ben from Melt the Icebergs, and in today's Advice from a VIP Pilot video, I wanted to share some thoughts after I unexpectedly got called for a flight mission the other day and how I unexpectedly had to reject a takeoff at 100 miles an hour due to a technical problem. And the message is all about uncertainty and how we have to expect it and how we have to embrace it in order to give ourselves the best chance in our mission through the journey of life. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. I was tasked the other day to do a flight at very short notice. In fact, the call came very late in the afternoon, early evening, to take the aeroplane that I fly, the Gulfstream 600, to Spain. So the crew and I had to scramble at very short notice, and we had the pressure of trying to get out of the airport before the evening closure time. So we didn't have much time to prepare professionally and much less time really to prepare mentally. And then to add to that, when we were running down the runway at very high speeds, we had a warning come up on our screen telling us that the aircraft was in an unsafe condition. So we had to make that decision to reject the takeoff at very high speed. It was over 100 miles an hour. And for any of you who have been in the back of an aeroplane in that situation when the aeroplane suddenly stops after huge acceleration, it can be very alarming because it triggers that natural sense of fear that the situation might be unsafe. And for us as pilots, these situations don't actually happen that often at all, but we are trained in the simulator to expect these sorts of things. And before we actually head out onto the runway, it's obviously a very good idea to have that potential scenario in our minds. But even so, when it does happen, it still triggers that natural human reaction of fear, of potential vulnerability to a situation that may not work out well. But we need those emotional reactions because they trigger us into that fight or fly situation that will meet our basic survival. And hopefully that is more dominant than the freeze and the panic situation, which is so easy to get trapped in. So how do we give ourselves the best chance of avoiding that panic and that freeze scenario? Well, can you imagine being in an aeroplane running down the runway and suddenly getting warning lights? You have no idea what to do because you've done no training and you've had no thought processes to deal with that situation. And of course, it would be an absolute nightmare of a scenario because you couldn't anywhere near guarantee your safety and the safety of the people in the back of the aeroplane. So as a pilot, in your mission through the journey of life, wouldn't it be sensible to undergo a good training program to prepare yourself for the different scenarios that might be ahead to avoid that panic and that freeze scenario? And in my mind, there are four key elements, and it starts with our mindset, with our motivation and our discipline. We have to look after our bodies properly. We have to understand our emotions. We have to come up with the emotional language to be able to express them properly. And we have to remain connected to people. We have to understand our spiritual presence in this world. And I think that if we avoid training ourselves in any of those four critical elements, then we have very little chance of dealing with those scenarios like I had on the runway that day. And we have very little chance of discovering the potential for success in our mission through the journey of life. So let me know what you think in that box below. And as always, if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to come back for some more as I share my thoughts, experiences and adventures traveling around the world. In the meantime, keep it in the greens, continue to discover your self-belief and live the life of your dreams.